This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some important update to share with you. Got some more Congress drama. The defense bill, which is supposed to be voted in at the end of the week, the Democrats are trying to sneak in a Manchin's bill, but the progressives don't want to vote for that, which could cause nothing to happen at all. I'll give you the details on that. $13 billion has been approved by the Biden administration when it comes to stimulus, direct stimulus, Christmas bonus of $500, and 13 states are going to extend the emergency SNAP benefits and $914 payment going out for SSI by the end of the month. It'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more daily, straight-to-the-point updates on matters that financially matter to you. So, new poll came out, 55% say inflation causing financial hardship, 13% cite severe struggles. So despite what a newscaster, CEO, or politician is saying that things are getting much better with the economy, it's when you speak to the actual people that you understand what's really going on. So the 55% experiencing hardship remain unchanged from August, but the number is notably higher than last year's 45%. And 13% said that they are experiencing severe hardship. So the 13% experiencing severe hardship is increasing slightly from 10% from last month. So people are struggling, regardless of what people say and or what the media is saying. I think individuals are struggling a lot. Let me know if you fall in the category. Are you struggling, or are you severely struggling? Let me know down in the comments below due to inflation. So a couple of things being done about it. These 13 states will extend emergency food benefit payments through December. So just 13 states have confirmed emergency benefits for December compared to 35 states in November. So it went from 35 states to 13. I'll let you know exactly which those states are. The emergency allotments mean households can receive the maximum amount for their size, and those already receiving the maximum receive an additional $95. And it isn't clear how far into 2023 the additional food benefit will continue. It depends on decisions made at the federal and state level. So these are the 13 states. Like I said before, dropped down from 35. It's Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Oregon, Vermont, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. So those are the 13 states giving out emergency food benefits through December. We're not sure what's going to happen going into 2023 in January, but we'll keep you updated. And then stimulus update. Direct Christmas bonus $500 payments being sent out now to families. So this is going on in Tennessee. So Tennessee residents are eligible for the state's Family First program that could expect to see an extra $500 payment this month, with checks to arrive at the end of the month. So if you're in Tennessee and you qualify for the Families First program, looks like $500 coming out before the end of the month, probably around Christmas time. Then we have huge new $914 direct payment going out to millions before the new year. See the exact date it drops. So this is going out to SSI, Supplemental Security Income. So it is increasing. So the first increase is going to be December 30th, and it's going to be a $914 check. This is due to the 8.7% increase in COLA. Usually it should be sent out January 1st, but due to the holidays and all that, it is coming out December 30th. So this is a double SSI check month, and it's going to be $914, which is the maximum, from $841. So that's what that increase will do. Married couples get $1,371 per month. Then, when it comes to other money being approved here, Biden-Harris administration announces $13 billion to modernize and expand America's power grid. So this is money that was approved, and it looks like it's going to trickle into the grid. There are some energy saving opportunities. If you type in your town, your city, your county, your state, there are some utility help, utility assistance, as well as rental assistance that's going out, that's being trickled down from the federal government. And then other problems here, Schumer, Pelosi weighing whether to include Joe Manchin's energy permitting deal in must-pass defense bill. So what's going on here is the Democrats are torn. They have, two different parties in their Democratic Party. So congressional Democratic leaders are pushing to include legislation spurring oil and gas drilling that is desired by Democrat West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin within the annual defense bill. So there were promises made to Joe Manchin. So Joe Manchin was on board for the Inflation Reduction Act, and Chuck Schumer said, okay, if you agree with that, we will give you your oil and drilling permitting bill. And it didn't work out before. Progressives are against it, turning their back on Joe Manchin, and it looks like they might try to slip it into the national defense bill, which doesn't really have anything to do with that, but that's how politics works. And progressives are threatening to vote against the annual defense bill if it includes permitting reform language. So progressives are threatening to vote against the annual National Defense Authorization Act later this week if it includes permitting reform language that they say would undercut environmental protections. Basically, if Joe Manchin's bill is in that NDAA, then the progressive Democrats are not going to vote for it, and it probably won't happen, cause more strife within the Democrat Party. Meanwhile, the Republicans have their own problems in their party, but what is being done about it? A budget bill has to be done for America, and when is that due? Well, it's due very soon, and what's in it? Take a look at this right here.
Well, now, kind of looks like the Democrats, I don't know, there may be some Republicans. Anyway, they're all intent on passing a massive spending bill, cobbled together in a dark, smoke-filled back room. Question is, can Republicans stop it? Joining us now to talk about it, South Dakota Senator John Thune, Senate Republican Whip, member of the Finance Committee. Senator Thune, I just want to know, are you going to be in that dark, smoke-filled room with this terrible omnibus deal that is going to be crazy, wild, lame duck spending, or can you stop it, sir?
Well, I'm not in the room, at least not in the dark, smoke-filled room anyway, Larry. But I'm hopeful that we can stop a lot of this extraneous, non-defense related spending. I mean, there are things we need to do for the military. We all know that. But the Democrats always want you to pay a ransom. Mm-hmm. You want to get a little bit more in military spending, then you got to give us a whole bunch more domestic spending. The problem is they've got $4.5 trillion in these last 2 years since Biden took office in spending outside of the regular appropriation process. They should have funded their entire agenda. There is no reason why we ought to have to give them additional increases, plus ups in non-defense related spending in order to get an increase that we need in our military.
Well, so, they're going to scratch every liberal left-wing itch. There's no question about that. We know that. I guess my first question to you, Senator Thune, is wouldn't it be better to go with a CR, continuing resolution, and wait until next year to give a full-fledged 2023 budget, regular order, appropriation hearings, which you haven't had in the Senate? Liberals and conservatives can argue about levels of spending and the merits of these programs. They had one in the House, but not in the Senate. Wouldn't it be better to go with a CR and then a full-fledged regular order budget exercise next year?
And that could happen, and we would be much better off with the Republican House, for sure, writing a budget. The question is, when would they be able to get to it? We're into 2023. The fiscal year started October 1. But here's the thing: the challenge we have, and this is why I am a passionate advocate of budget reform. Mm-hmm. We don't do appropriations bills.
Right.
I mean, this is the Democrats use this to their advantage. They back us up to Christmas, and then it's either okay, you vote for this increase in domestic spending, or we shut the government down. And that is the problem that we have is the 12 appropriation bills, none of which was acted upon earlier this year, now gets all balled up. We're heading into the Christmas holiday, and the Democrats try to use that as leverage to get a huge plus up in spending. And that's where, again, how this gets resolved remains to be seen, but there is, to your point, some logic certainly in doing a continuing resolution funded at last year's level, and then having this litigated next year with a Republican House. The question, I think, is will the Democrats, are they desperate enough to get a deal this year that they are willing to keep from dramatically increasing the domestic spending in exchange for getting some additional defense spending, which Republicans in the Senate desperately want to see happen?
Well, look, I don't know. I've gone both ways on this, Senator Thune, but if I had to close the government down for a couple weeks in order to get real reforms or cuts, God forbid, cuts in domestic spending, if I had to wait a couple weeks to pay the interest on 10-year bonds, because we all know it's going to get paid, I think I would. All right, I'm a desperate man for budgetary restraint and inflation restraint, because the two go together, as you well know. I mean, why not call their bluff? Take them to the edge.
And it's very I mean, I think that anything right now is on the table. I don't know how this is going to play out. A lot of it's going to depend on how willing the Democrats are, like I said before, if they want to get a deal, to not, blow it up with all kinds of new non-defense related spending. And, to your point, I think this all impacts, if you look at inflation, just the massive flood of spending in the last couple of years there's no doubt, no question that has contributed to and been largely responsible for the run-up that we've seen in inflation. This has implications, well beyond this year. We're at $30 trillion in debt, 122% of GDP. We desperately need spending reforms. We need budget reforms for this country. And we're going to have to deal with those issues because the day of reckoning is coming. And, the sooner we deal with that, the better. I'm hopeful that next year when we get Republican control of the House, we'll be in a better position at least to use that leverage to try and get some of these things that we need to get done. But at the end of the day, we have to have an orderly process that allows this work to get done earlier in the year. We can't get up against the Christmas holiday and just then have them say, take this or leave it, or we're going to shut the government down.
Well, I'm just thinking, I don't know that you need budget reforms. I think you just need to use the budget rules that are there and are never used. I mean, I call it regular order. I mean, we've had this conversation with Kevin Cramer and other senators. That's all. We don't use it anymore. We don't have a budget resolution from the Senate. We don't have the 12 appropriation subcommittee hearings in the Senate. We don't have any of that stuff. The public doesn't know. And I'm sorry you can't make the dark-filled, smoke-filled room, but that's not a good way to do it. I mean, I think you would agree with me. That's not a good way to do it. There's no taxpayer transparency there. Nobody knows. To coin a phrase, nobody's going to know what's in that bill until we actually write it. And even then, you don't know what's in that bill. Last word.
Well, so here's my point to you is the problem with the current budget law and with the appropriations process for that matter too, is there's no consequence in not doing it. And that's why we've got to reform the budget process so that there is actually some cost associated. You miss the deadlines, you blow by the deadlines, we don't do a budget resolution, we never do budget resolutions, then we don't do appropriation bills, and then here we are at the end of the year with the Democrats holding the good cards because they use the year end as leverage. This is the way Schumer and the Democrats and Pelosi in the House like to run things because it puts you in a crisis mode, and the only way we're going to fix that is to start dealing with these issues in the front end earlier in the year. And I think in order to do that, you've got to have some enforcement mechanisms in there, and they just don't exist today.
What are your thoughts on the big budget for our country? Is it going to pass the way it should or not? Let me know your thoughts on that. That is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing you should do for when you're feeling down and you want to follow your wishes, then do whatever you want. It's a free country here. You can do whatever you want. So bye guys. Have a good night or a good day.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support. Got some good news. Got my stitches taken out this morning, and the doctor looked at my foot. Things are looking good. Still won't be able to walk for another 2 weeks at that 4-week mark from my surgery, but things are looking better. So I guess I'm thankful for that. And I just got to stretch out my foot. Oh, also, I was able to take my first real shower today, which is pretty cool, rather than wrapping my foot and my leg in a garbage bag because I couldn't get it wet. But yeah, took an actual shower, which was pretty exciting. things we take for granted, huh? Anyways, hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any of my other videos, my other channels, click right up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.